Once a month I grab this chair, hit record, and talk about what's been on my mind lately. This is the Lawnchair update. Reviewing the playbook on my first one, I swear I looked this direction or down at my knee the whole time, which is what I do in conversations too, to be honest, so that doesn't surprise me, but I could do better at eye contact. I feel like when you're really drawing a thought, you know, you're really deep down thinking and kind of need your own space a little bit. You know, you do the same thing during prayer. I feel like you kind of take yourself out of the vision you usually have to have like a deeper focus. And I feel like I do that with conversations too. Unless, you know, it's not a deep conversation or whatever. But yeah, I would say lots to talk about today, but I don't really plan that much of what I want to talk about. A few weeks back, I made it to Colorado for a week. Been trying to do trips like that with that group more. So I flew in from Des Moines to Denver, got picked up by my friend Cade. And that was at like 7 a.m. So I was a little tired because that was quite the wake up time to go to Colorado. But first thing we did when we got to Golden, which is where he's hanging out at, we got breakfast burritos, and then we hit the South Table. I think it's called South Table Mountain. I could be wrong, but the South Table hike, which is a really quick 3-miler, but it got the legs going right away. Beautiful view. Loved that. And then you can just tell the whole rest of the day. We had another kid flying in. We had Jaden flying in at night, and we like worked a little bit, but me and him were just both beat. So we just had this awkward wait time of having to go back to the airport, but had some good naps and rotted our brains away on the internet, as you do. But I got what I need to get done that day, so it's fine. We picked up Jaden. That was all fun. And the next day we got to check out Cade's spot. We drive into the mountains more and got to check out his office. He has lots of studio space in there. He has lots of backdrops and all these different types of videos. So if you see some crazy high production quality videos coming soon, it's because I shot them in there. So, or around this video is when they will come out. But that was a lot of fun, but I had great work time in there. Wow, just getting to an office is so fun. With what I do in media and all that, you don't need much to do it. You just need some good skills and good equipment and good computer knowledge. And none of that ever expects you to have a space, at least early on. So you can really get away with running a big agency out of your house if you want. But it's just, there's something about leaving your spot and getting to your destination. When I talked to Kate about his reasoning of getting an office, he said it took me more time to get from my bed to my home office than it did from my bed to my office, which was 20 minutes away, and that made so much sense. When you wake up and you're like, I gotta get somewhere, you get up. When you wake up and be like, I gotta work, I don't know, you just don't get up as easy. I don't know, I don't have direct experience with that, but man, showing up to a nice spot was nice. Got to check out the Foothills community. Went on an awesome hike near his parents' house because they live in the foothills, and it was just a quick 3-miler, 1,000 elevation of climb, and I really made sure to take my camera with me because it's like I love going home with some solid, specifically photo shots. I love going home with. So I really spent my time on that too. But right at the beginning, man, Cade made us walk up this mile. No, not mile. It was like a 1/4 mile, but it was just straight up. And I could see, so when you're hiking, usually there's switchbacks where you go up the mountain this way at this angle and then you'll flip around so you don't have to go up. I could see the actual trail, and I could see the trail Cade wanted us to go on, and we did the one where it was straight up, so we were cooked. But anyways, the end was very beautiful. Had some amazing photos. I posted those everywhere. We're getting some storm this way of me, so I'm looking at that. But awesome photos. Highlight of that hike is his dog loves when we are at a stopping point to get up onto the highest point he could find. So if we're on a trail, he's going to find a rock he can climb on, and he'll just sit there and look into the distance. And he's just a very photogenic looking dog. I don't know if you know the phrase aura farming, but that's what the dog was doing the whole time. It was hilarious. But then we had a few other guys driving from Utah. So it was the first weekend, Cade was in his new spot or something like that, and he hosted a ton of people. So we were a little loud getting in and out of the apartment, which wasn't a good look for Cade on his first weekend, but it was a great time overall. But they were good. All of us are like business owners, agency operators, either getting started or pretty seasoned, so it's kind of fun to chop it up and work alongside people. And when they came in, it was like I was within 2 days of me leaving, so it kind of went by fast. But the big highlight with everybody is we all did a 10-miler. We're gonna have a plane in every video. We all did a 10-miler in Evergreen. It was 5 up, 5 down. But the difference was Cade and Jaden started at 9 p.m. the night before, and they're like, no, we'll hike to the trailhead too. So they ended up hiking from 9 to about 8 a.m. So 11 or 12 hours, and covered 27 miles and a mile of vertical climb as well within that. So they are psychos, but that was sick for them. And then I went with my fellow Utahans. We did 10 miles and woke up at 2 a.m. Saw a beautiful sunset. There were clouds covering it, so it looked like just an infinite land. It was a cool perspective because the other hike that I was talking about with the dog was a beautiful view, and then it was nice seeing like a clouded view as well to get both of those. But that's the highlight of the trip there. Really good trip. Been keeping up on pace with business. I try to say I work hard on it, and that's partially true, but I've seen really hard work before, and I'm not always able to hit that. But when I say I am still on track with it, that's more accurate. Same amount of effort and mindset and believability that I can keep going and grow and be a help to people. So on track with that. Biggest thing has been structure. I've been trying to be better with structure. Starting out, I was all over everywhere. Now I kind of have something I see that people like within me, which is helping people out with their socials. And when you have people doing a very similar plan, you're able to kind of structure it. So I have it kind of structured in weeks. One of the weeks planning, one of the weeks is producing the content, and then 1 week is for post-production, like the editing and all that, and copywriting, making the captions and all that, and then kind of a week to revise and schedule as well. And so that has allowed for me to get that process down better and do it more effectively and intentionally, and it's helped my mental health, which is always good. But that's been a huge highlight. We've been just having sneaky growth too. I remember really feeling my growth early on. And every time more work came in, you kind of felt it. But like it's been sneakily happening. We've been busy all the time, but slowly we've just been growing as a company, been needing more help, and it's been fun to see because it feels very similarly effort-wise, and so that's always a good sign. These last few weeks and months, I've really started prioritizing posting my own things again under my own name and whatever random thought I have, just post it everywhere, have some fun. And it's been really fun. I schedule a lot of the posts out, but I'll just wake up and I'm like, oh shoot, I posted something, let's go. And then it's like, all I have to do is just talk with people. I don't have to worry about posting. So it's just kind of fun seeing people's thoughts and interacting with people and generating interest and business as well is always fun, and connecting with older people, or not older people, but connections that have been around for a little longer, and seeing all that and the opportunities that came up, like I said. So I'm excited and motivated to continue doing that, although when you kind of get into a new month and you're like, oh shoot, I got to build out this calendar all over again. It's a tough look. It's quite a lot of effort, but it's worth it, and it's been rewarding. And it shouldn't be rewarding because you shouldn't see results in 2 weeks, but I have. So that's what's made it extra special, because I wasn't expecting anything. But I still was on track. I'm not excited or not excited. I'm just willing to put in the work and see what happens over time. Super fun. I've been doing some fun recordings that I've talked a little bit about for my local chamber. Every bigger area or town or combined areas have sort of a business development area, having, networking stuff or trying to pull in new businesses to their community. There's a lot of that. And my town made a campaign to help people live, work, and play here. And it's kind of started as a youth, for younger professionals. I don't know if it's maintained that or not. I'm unsure, but it suits both areas no matter what. But I've just been, dude, these planes. I got something in my nose. But I've been able to go around and do fun attractions around town and just record them and do it with groups of people. And so one of the things was doing the locals farmers market. One of the chamber interns and her friends helped me out, and they're awesome people. And farmers markets are just fun, dude. And I love dog watching. Everybody brings their dogs. All dogs are different and fluffy in their own ways. And it's just a beautiful sight to see. So being able to record that and walk around and record visuals and having no real intention or idea, just trying to capture the raw environment to be authentic to the situation as possible was sick. And I had my camera out and I saw people I knew. So I was taking photos, and then more people showed up, and then I take a photo for them, and then I take a photo for them, just as a little pat on the back. It's all fun workflow. But a random thing I learned about recently is Bernie Madoff or Madoff. What's up, Addison? Just recording my show here. Bernie Madoff. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna go with Madoff. The biggest Ponzi scheme in history ran by that man right there. There was a Netflix documentary, I think it came out in 2023 or something. Anyways, this guy was an investor, or he ran an investment business firm, and kind of under the radar too, he was growing a fund, a hedge fund. But what he would do is he'd get people to invest using his relationships and his community image from his actual firm, and then getting people to invest in his fraudulent hedge fund. So people would invest, and then he'd send them all the returns and statements and saying, hey, you get a 15% return on everything instead of your typical 8% return you see from everywhere else. And he'd send them statements every month. But little did they know, he never invested any of it. He just had it in a big pile of money. And so, and you might ask how that works. Well, it works because he's getting people to invest so much. He's getting in new people so fast that he can legitimately give and take away people's returns. So if someone puts in 15 and they leave it in for, or someone puts in $1 million. Well, I don't know how to do, I can't do math that fast. Someone puts in a sum of money and it gets 15% every year, and then after 10 years they're done or whatever, they can take the money out and he can pay them, right? Because he's got so much money coming in all the time. So he did this in the I think it started in 1960? 1970 maybe? 1980 maybe? I don't know, somewhere around there. By the year 2000 or so, it was 3 to 4 billion was the size of that pool, how much money he had invested in there. And then by 2008, it was at 65 billion or somewhere around there. People giving him his money for him to manage, giving him their money for him to manage. And eventually, we all know what happened in 2008. The stock market crashed. People were withdrawing. They were getting withdrawal orders. They said, hey, give me my money. And he couldn't, because he no longer had people giving him money. Therefore, he can't deliver the money of people that want it back. And so it's fascinating to see that story. Things I learned with usually all these stories, whether they're good or evil, you can make anything happen. You literally can make anything happen if you just constantly, daily put your thought behind it. Obviously, he made a particularly bad and horrific thing happen. But with that being said, we could do that with good things as well. And you can never really trust anybody. You know, that was a very reputable guy, and he wasn't. You know what I mean? Just crazy. And it tore his family apart. His wife lived out of a car after all their properties got seized. Son died of cancer, one died of suicide. It was a crazy situation. And learning about historical things like that is an interest to me, and it helps me process the world more and more each time. So, I talked about Vietnam last time, now I'm talking about the biggest Ponzi scheme in history, $65 billion. He was not able to do that on his own. He had his internal team, which none of them got more than 6 years in jail, the internal team. The guy that was really in charge of it, kind of doing the dirty work, died before he was sentenced, I believe, Frank. And then Madoff got 150 years. But if you think about it, Madoff had to store all that money somewhere. And he stored it within Chase Bank, I believe, which is JP Morgan. They had billions of dollars pooled in their accounts that they're able to utilize for business purposes and make tons of money. And no one ever got charged or anything with those subdivisions that were also involved partially. But a lot of people lost all their belongings. He had 48,000 clients worldwide, and 4,800 were affected in the US or something like that. That doesn't sound exactly right, but that's what I saw. But so crazy. Well, I got a storm rolling in behind me, and I got some stuff to do, but it was good to just sit and blab in my backyard chair again with my subpar posture. And I definitely didn't look at the camera the whole time again, but I'll be right here next month. Let's go.